Evelyn Carter moved slowly through the tall glass doors of Crestview National Bank, her cane clicking softly against the marble floor. She wore a faded floral dress, the same one she wore to church on Sundays, and her silver-gray hair was tied neatly in a bun. Anyone looking her way might have seen nothing more than a fragile, elderly black woman trying to manage the weight of her years. But what nobody in that bank knew was that Evelyn Carter had lived a life full of quiet storms, and she carried something inside her purse that held the power to shake the entire room. She stopped at the reception desk and smiled politely. "Good morning, baby. I need to make a withdrawal from my account." The young receptionist didn't bother to look up from her phone. "What kind of account?" she asked in a flat tone. "Checking," Evelyn replied warmly, a sigh. "And how much?" $10,000, please." That got her attention. The receptionist finally looked up, eyebrows raised, eyes narrowing with suspicion. $10,000 cash. "Yes, sweetheart." Evelyn gave a small nod. "Still sweet, still patient." The girl stood up. "You'll need to speak with a manager." Evelyn thanked her and shuffled toward the glass office at the corner. Inside sat manager Jonathan Pierce, perfectly ironed suit, slicked back hair, and a smile that didn't reach his eyes. As Evelyn approached, he was typing something on his computer, chuckling under his breath at whatever meme he was reading. She gently tapped the door. "Excuse me, sir." He turned, expecting a client who looked like money, but when he saw Evelyn, his smile twitched into something closer to annoyance. "Yes?" he asked sharply. "I'm here to make a withdrawal." She held her purse close. $10,000. Jonathan blinked. "10,000, he repeated slowly, as if she couldn't hear him yet. "Dear." He leaned back in his chair, eyes brushing over her thrift store dress, her worn-out shoes, her shaking hands. "Ma'am, do you know how much $10,000 is?" Evelyn chuckled softly. "I believe I do." He clasped his hands together and forced a polite smile. "Why don't I pull up your account and see what we're working with?" He spun his monitor toward himself, typing her name with exaggerated effort, the way people do when they think they're about to expose someone. "Evelyn MCARTAR checking account savings. Portfolio." Jonathan immediately smirked when he saw her checking balance. $328.51. "Oh boy," he muttered under his breath. "Something wrong, sir?" Evelyn asked kindly. He cleared his throat dramatically. "Well, with only $300, you definitely cannot withdraw $10,000. I didn't say from my checking. Try my savings." He opened the next tab and then froze. His eyes widened. He leaned closer, blinking, thinking maybe he had clicked the wrong account. Savings balance: $4,820,211. 39. Jonathan's throat tightened. He clicked again. Verifying. Verifying, then again. It was real. Over $4.8 million. The fragile old woman in the faded dress was a multimillionaire. He swallowed hard and tried to compose himself. Suddenly sitting straighter, suddenly polite. "Mrs. Carter, I apologize. I didn't realize that I had money," she asked, her tone soft but sharp enough to slice his pride. He flushed red. "I didn't mean it like that." "Oh, you did," she said quietly. "But it's all right. People assume things about me all the time." Jonathan cleared his throat again, every bit of arrogance melting away. "Would you like the full $10,000 in cash today?" "Yes, please," she said with a gentle smile. "I have something important to take care of." Jonathan actually ran out of his office to prepare the withdrawal himself while he worked. He kept glancing at Evelyn through the glass, confused, curious, trying to piece her together. Minutes later, he returned and handed her a crisp white envelope. "Here it is, Mrs. Carter, $10,000. Is there anything else I can do for you?" Evelyn slowly opened her purse, and Jonathan saw it for the first time. Inside was a photo, a little boy, no older than 8, smiling with missing front teeth. A boy with dazzling eyes and scruffy hair. "Is that your grandson?" Jonathan asked politely. "No," she whispered. "That's my son." Jonathan nodded slowly. "He passed away 25 years ago," Evelyn said quietly, her voice trembling for the first time. "I'm using this money to honor him today." Jonathan softened. "I'm sorry for your loss." Evelyn gave a small smile of gratitude. "It's all right, but there's something you should know." She took a long breath, eyes misting with memories. "My son wanted to be a scientist. Brilliant boy. Funny, kind." She paused. "But when he was 12, he was diagnosed with a rare cancer. The doctors said we needed expensive treatments I could never afford." Jonathan felt a chill. "I worked 3 jobs," she continued. "Cleaned offices at night, cooked at a diner, took care of old folks, but it was never enough." She swallowed hard. "One night after I cried in the hospital hallway, a stranger sat next to me, a businessman I'd never met. He asked why I was crying. I told him." She wiped a tear. "And he paid for every single one of my son's treatments. All of them." Jonathan's breath hitched. "And even though my boy didn't make it, that kindness changed my life." She looked into Jonathan's eyes. "I promised myself that if I ever had the chance, even once, I would help someone else the way that man helped me." Jonathan froze. She gently patted the envelope. "This isn't for me. It's for a family at the children's hospital. Their daughter is fighting for her life, and they can't afford the surgery." Jonathan stared at her, stunned. I know what it feels like to beg for help, she whispered. So today, I'm giving help. Jonathan's chest tightened with guilt, shame, admiration, all tangled together. Mrs. Carter, I'm sorry for the way I treated you. I judged you without knowing anything about you. Evelyn smiled, not bitter, not smug, just warm. We all judge, son. The important part is what we choose to do after. Jonathan swallowed hard. I want to donate too, he said suddenly, surprising himself. I want to help. Evelyn's eyes softened. That's kind, baby, he nodded. Please let me come with you. Let me deliver the donation with you. Evelyn hesitated, then nodded. Together, they walked out of the bank, the elderly woman with a heart full of grief and hope, and the manager who had just learned the biggest lesson of his career. When they arrived at the hospital and handed the envelope to the struggling parents, the mother burst into tears, hugging Evelyn as if she were sent by angels. Jonathan watched, his heart cracking open. He finally understood. Wealth wasn't in Evelyn's bank account, it was in her soul, and in that moment, he vowed never to judge another person by appearance again. Moral lesson: true richness isn't measured in money, clothing, or appearance, but in compassion. You never know whose life you're touching, or whose heart is full of storms and stories. Kindness costs nothing and changes everything.